please welcome onto the stage Mr. Elliot Kay.
How many of you would like to learn one of the key ingredients to building, sustaining, and even welcoming a new relationship? Excellent. That's what I'd like to talk about today. My name is Elliot Kay and I'm known as the Coach with a Hat. How I became the Coach with a Hat, I will tell you another time. I only have 35 precious minutes with you. So if you want to find out about how I became the Coach with a Hat, you'll have the opportunity a bit later. I've written 2 books. Normally I'd go up, but it's a bit hard to go up here, right? So I've written 2 books. I'm an international speaker. I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, and people seeking self-development generally who simply want to better themselves on path to wherever they want to go. It's their journey. And I started to work in the relationship sector because I realized relationship can be a great source of pleasure and a great source of pain. Yes or no?
Yes.
For a lot of us, it's a great source of
Pleasure.
interesting, mixed reaction, right? I wanted to see what we say. But for a lot of us, it can be a great source of pain. And what I learned from my own experience is what I'm going to share with you over the next 35 minutes. I might move around a little bit because I'm feeling a little bit, I'm not particularly tall, so Des, I don't know how you did it, standing here. I mean, I feel tall here. I'm like, yeah, I can touch the ceiling. That's not something that happens very often. So I'm the lead facilitator of Power to Succeed, which is my 2-day experiential seminar. I've worked with various people. I'm also a mentor at the Princess Trust on the innovation scheme. I do a lot of voluntary work to support and help people in their growth. And that's just a little bit about me, but today's really about you. And what I want to share you is a key ingredient. How many of you find you have conflict in relationship? Raise your hands. And how many of you not quite understand why that is? Raise your hands. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I had an incredible, what I perceive to be an incredible relationship. But before I tell you about that, I just want to tell you about Janice. Is it all right if I tell you about Janice?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you asleep, people? Yes or no?
Yes.
Excellent. So, there was Janice. You see, Janice, every morning she'd wake up early, she'd do her little stretches, and she'd get up and she'd go to work. She'd work really late, and then she would come back, eat something, and then go upstairs. Check on her 2 sons. Ah, nicely asleep. Check on her other son, nicely asleep. And then she'd lie down by her husband, who was never really getting to see her. Again, she'd wake up in the morning, have her little stretch, get up, go to work, come home, and she'd check on her kids while eating a sandwich. She'd go upstairs, have a big, oh yes, they're nicely asleep. Close the door, nicely asleep. And then she would go to bed. That was her daily routine. So day after day after day. Daily routine. One day she comes home normal, she gets home late, she goes upstairs, she checks on her first son, he's nicely asleep, wishing she could spend more time with him, like, oh, I really would like to see him go to sleep one. She opens the door to the second one, and there's her and the son open, wide awake. Hello, Mummy! Hiya, Mummy, how are you? Do you have a nice day at work? Yeah. Cool. She's like, Junior, what are you doing up? Well, Mummy, I wanted to see you, of course. I wanted to see how you are. Do you have a nice day at work? Junior, what do you want? What makes you think I want anything, Mummy? It's late, you're awake, and you're speaking to me. What do you want? Well, Mummy, here's the thing. Can I have £5, please? What do you want £5 for? Well, Mummy, you see, I'm saving for something really special, really special. So if you give me £5, I can save right away. Just £5. Of course. She hands him £5, a bit confused, puts everything back, and then she goes to sleep. A bit confused. She wakes up the next morning, does her stretches, goes to work, comes back. This time something's going on in her head. She's like, it's a bit strange how Junior was behaving. Checks on her first son, and checks on her second son, and there he is. Hiya, Mummy! Did you have a nice day at work? You okay? I see you looking so gorgeous tonight, Mummy. Soon you'll be asleep? Well, Mummy, here's the thing. I know I asked you for £5 yesterday, but can I have £15 today? Ta-da! Junior, what do you think I am, a bank? I work, I get up early, I work every hour of the day, and then you just think I can just produce money? What is wrong with you? But Mummy, I just need £15 for this really special thing, please. It's really special. £15, that's 5 times your normal pocket money. I know. Can I have £15? Junior, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I don't even get to see you go to sleep. I don't get to see your daddy. I'm tired. I'm not this money machine. Just take it. She reaches into her bag, hands it over, just take it. And as she's walking away, suddenly Junior goes, Mummy, wait. How much is your time worth? What? How much is your time worth? Don't know. He reaches under the pillow, grabs his other 5 and goes, if I pay you £20, will you come and spend the night with me? And he gives her the money. And then Janice breaks out into tears. Now Janice's story, who can relate to that story? Raise your hand. A few of you. Who knows someone like Janice? Raise your hand. Who's sitting in their seat? Yeah. So here's the thing. Janice's story isn't unique. Because what happens is, in our values, the greatest source of our conflict in relationship is understanding our core values. Now our values is what we hold dear and what we perceive to be missing in our relationships. And I know there's all kinds of schoolings about this. Can you see that? Okay. So Janice, she was massively conflicted. She was out of time. Her space was filled up. It was all around sustaining the family. Now there's no right or wrong with Janice. She didn't do anything wrong, but she was doing what was perceived to be the right thing. Yes? So her time was filled up with work. Her space, her physical space was filled up with everything that wasn't her values. Her money was all about making money to sustain the family. And of course her energy was drained because she was serving someone else's values. She wasn't living to her core values. Who knows someone like that? Raise your hands. Yeah? So whatever's in our highest values, we always have time, space, money and energy for. Unless we give it away. Unless we allow life to take over. Right? So Janice, lovely Janice, she wasn't doing anything wrong. She was doing the right thing, except she was massively conflicted and deflated. She didn't get to see her kids, she didn't see her husband, because all of her time, space, energy and money was taken serving other people's values. Right? So her own family growing up, her own family, which is very important to her clearly, she was missing out on. And again, that's a typical story. Because here's what a lot of us don't do, unfortunately, is take time. Do I have my big fat markers anyway? They're all here somewhere.
In between the 2 computers.
Okay, great. Yes?
Could you move this whiteboard somewhere else? Because I couldn't see that.
Just sideways a bit.
Okay, hello. Let me just do that. Can I move the whiteboard? I would love to put it on stage. But I think you might get half the stage. There we go. With a bang.
Okay.
Is that better?
That's great. Yes.
Everyone see that now? Can you see the board? Okay. So here's the thing. Our drivers of behavior, and this is what we teach very much about How to Succeed. This is a key paradigm. So a lot of you might get this, might not. It's okay. Where you are is perfect. Some of you know this, some of you are learning this. So whatever is in our highest values will always drive our behavior. Whatever's in our time, our space, our money, in our energy, whatever's in our highest value will drive our behavior. But here's what we do, right? We'll talk about Mr. Jones in a little bit. We take our value system and we project that on our partners, on our potential partners, on the people we perceive to want to be our partners. Now, time, space, money, energy. You will always find time for them because they're in your highest value. But if you don't own them, something will take over and step in and own it for you. Who can relate to that? Yeah? So whatever you don't perceive to be in your highest value, unless you understand what your highest values are, which we call IDB, internal drivers of behavior, then you will simply have someone else step in and take it for you. So how many times have you started a relationship not knowing each other's values, and eventually they became slightly possessive? They started to take over. You started to do what they wanted to do. Who can relate to that? Who's not going to admit to that? Yeah? And that's what happens because you are compromised. You are letting your values go. They're projecting their values onto you because you're allowing it. I know Des spoke about responsibility because you are allowing it. It's a two-way thing. And therefore they start to slowly take over. And then it's like, oh, when I met you, it was so much fun. Now all we do is stay home and watch 24. Who can relate to that? Not watching 24, but just suddenly their whole life evolves and changes completely. Yeah? Because of the lack of understanding of what's in your highest value, how you fill your time, your space, your money, and energy in a relationship context as well as personally. So let me give you an example. Emily, my fiancée, is right at the back there. Yeah? I'll talk about Emily in a second. And before I met Emily, I'm going to talk about the 3 stages of relationships in a second. But I was very much in love with this amazing girl who had very similar values to me, and we knew it. She was driven, business was one of her highest values, very, very similar values. What do you think happened to that relationship? Huh?
Boredom?
Not quite boredom?
The focus was on the business rather than the relationship.
Right, because we're so focused, that's a new word, business focused, right? Because we were so focused on the business, what happened to the relationship? Suffered. What happened in the end? She dumped me for a billionaire. True story. She left me for a billionaire because business was her highest value, as was money. That's okay, we're good friends. There's no, oh, she's a bad person. That was her values. But because our values were very similar, we actually clashed. We didn't work because we didn't complement each other. There was no compromise. It was business, business, business. And within that, we somehow had to fit in a relationship. Who can relate to that? It feels really weird doing a small raise of hand, I must say. For those of you who see me speak, you know my hand normally shoots up. Got to control it. So, how many of you stop and ask your partners or your potential partners, wherever you are in your journey, what their values are? How many of you do that? Be honest. 1, 2, 3, that's about right. Maybe 4, they're not sure. Sometimes they might. Now, one of the first things I did interesting after learning my experience, which taught me some amazing lessons, tell you what, being left for a billionaire will teach you 1 or 2 things. It will teach you a lot of things.
Get a better job.
Huh? Get a better job in the business. But beyond that, about you as a person. Because I'm going to talk about the infatuation stage in a minute. But I wasn't living to my values. I was saying, her values are really my values, and they weren't really my values, but I wanted them to be my values because I wanted the relationship to work. I was hoping that it will work. Who's an avid hoper here? That one day your partner will change and be perfect. Yeah? Thank you for your honesty. So here's an example. So when I met Emily, and I was still through that, I was still a little bit in pain, letting go of it. I was also, at the time, my business was going down. There's lots of things happening, an investment crash. You know, I was in one of those situations, a bit like Des was talking about, with he lost his wife, he lost his house. I didn't have a wife, but I lost the house and I lost the business, and all this stuff was happening. And I met Emily and I was rebuilding. And one of the first things, because I understood that unless I live to my true values, I can't be authentically me. Right? And being authentically you, guess what? That's what people are attracted to. So one of the first things we did at the time, Marina and I were running a It's Your Right Wrong Relationship seminar. She's at the back there. And one of the first things I checked, because Emily attended, was her values. Now, do I need Emily to have a business value for the relationship to work? No. Does she need to have a high value on money or success for the relationship to work? No, exactly. So values that are too alike will conflict, and the values that are too different, your relationship will be floppy. Right? So when hey Anda, welcome. Perfect moment when I talk about, relationships. Please. Welcome. Nice to see you. So let's take, for example, a lot of my highest values are this. Business is one of my highest values. Yes. Empowerment is one of my highest values. Service is a higher value of mine. I have a value of money. Because when you lose your money, believe you me, you start to value it a lot more. Yeah, who can relate? Right. But when you lose a relationship that you know you could have not lost, you value relationship. So relationship is there too. So my top 5 are that. Emily, what are your top 5 values?
Family.
Yeah.
Will be number 1. Growth.
Yeah.
Traveling. Venture.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay. Good. Let's stop there.
Is that 5?
That's 4. We'll stop at 4. By the way, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I said I'm going to ask you, so she didn't know this was coming. I woke up and, by the way, I'm going to ask you what your values are. She went, really? Like, I think I have a value on sleep. Leave me alone. Very true. True story. So let's say I've got business here, and I've got empowerment, service, money, and let's put relationship. Right now, what we often fail to do, which is where relationships break down, is see how we can support each other's values. So when I was getting with Emily, the first thing I said, look, I'm broke, but no money. But if you persevere and you support me to grow the business, right? It wasn't a condition. It was like, this is how it is, yeah? Then I can support you with your values in the long term. So we can create the life that will allow us you to spend time with your family, you can carry on growing, you can travel, and we can have fun. But I need you to understand my value system first, because I will always jump on a speaking gig. I will always do something to empower and serve people. That will come, sometimes, look, the perfect relationship is a balance between challenge and reward. That's the perfect relationship. If you think that you're going to have a relationship where everything is really, really happy all the time, you're delusional, right? It's not, it doesn't exist. Right? I'm going to talk about the 3 stages of infatuation, but it's learning how you can support both ways each other's values. Now, it's 3 years down the line, I have grown the business, a lot has changed since that moment of being broke, bankrupt and everything. Because we understand each other. Emily understands that if Des calls me up and says, hey, I've got a speaking gig for you, I'll take it. Not on our wedding day. I think she might not forgive me on that. But it'll be a tough call. No, I'm kidding, right? But she understands what fills my time, my space, my energy. She gets that. But equally, I know when there's downtime, Emily's the first thing she will want to do is go to Salisbury and spend that with her family. Right? So I will support that as much as I can, because it's a compromise. It's an understanding. It's a two-way thing. But a lot of us just want our values our way. You can relate to that. Who has a partner like that, or had a partner like that? My way or the highway. It doesn't work. It's destructive, it's conflicted, and you're hoping that they'll change. Hope is great, but it's unsustainable. Yeah? So this is the key thing. So if you're in a relationship, I highly suggest you sit down and you find out what your highest values are, because that will explain why he does things the way he does and why she does things the way he does. They spoke about that. Why do guys do this? And he's going to talk about it a bit later. And why do women do this? Jill's going to talk about the energy, the balance, right? Between feminine, masculine. We all have that, by the way. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you don't have any feminine in you. Isn't that right? Yeah? Okay? But we do. There's a mixture. So I'm going to leave that to them. But it's understanding what drives you in a relationship. Now, can you have a highest value on money and have a loving relationship? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Yes. Of course you can. But it's understanding the relationship and the balance between. Can you have someone that's highest value is fun and no money in the relationship and still make money and still have the life you want? Yes or no?
Yes.
Of course you can. But it's understanding your partner's highest values. Understanding yours is the first step. Because a lot of us, is this clear? Are you getting this? Yeah, I do normally a whole section, I play a whole game around this, the Power to Succeed, which really shocks people's paradigms. Who's been to Power to Succeed? Raise your hand. Yeah, I remember your breakdown. They still talk about it from stage. It's very, because they take your whole paradigm and I turn it on its head. Because most of us, unfortunately, no right or wrong, aren't living to our highest value, therefore we have a conflicting life, therefore we have conflicting relationships, and we're conflicted in our business and our careers, Because of the core of this. So when I was rebuilding, I was getting over the relationship and I was rebuilding the business. I made one promise to myself at that time. I've had a few promises since. That I will not compromise on my values. I will not compromise, not in a business sense, but not in a personal sense. So when I met Emily, I looked at her values, I was like, phew. Because her values were that, but she understood the co-support of each other. It's a two-way thing. Do I have to sometimes park things? Yes. Do we sometimes have heated discussions about you're always doing this? Yes. But a relationship that isn't conflicted at some point isn't growing. And then you get to make up. That's lots of fun, isn't it? Right? But
It's a conflict for the growth to happen, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
But a lot of us avoid that. We avoid conflict.
I did.
You did. Thank you for your honesty. Who else has avoided conflict in relationships? There you go. Right? That's key. So we understand, and also one thing we committed to is always to communicate. Communicate. That doesn't make me happy, that doesn't make me happy. I don't do this. You know, I know Emily would rather be in bed this morning than be here. She would, right? Be honest. She loves... Yeah. But in essence, if she had, like, her way... But she supports. She's very supportive of all this because she knows it's going to lead to us living our values on a daily basis. And that's what I refuse to compromise on. Yeah? Now, relationships tend to have three phases. And I talk about this in my second book, It's Your Right to One Relationship. Funny enough, it's co-authored by Marina. And we talk about changing the slides, apparently. Coming off. So there's three stages of relationships. Now, in any relationship, you go through these stages. Some of you relate to it. Stage one, the infatuation stage. You meet the partner. Bless you. And they just taste yummy. They smell yummy. You can't get enough of them. You're waiting for that text, you're waiting for that call, you're looking at Facebook every 5 minutes. Did they change the relationship? Did they not? What is this? Is this a relationship? Am I late night pretty cool? Like, you're infatuated by them. Who can relate to that? Well, maybe not the last part, but yeah. The yummy stage. Everything is perfect. Right? That's the serotonin's kicking in and all these chemical reactions going on as if you've eaten loads of chocolate. Right, guys too, by the way, this is just women. We do it too, we just don't admit it. And you're sitting there and your phone goes off and your heart goes, is it her? No, damn it. It's Mum. Mum? But what happens after the infatuation stage? After 6 months into the relationship, what tends to happen? Say again? It's coming from someone. What happens? Novelty wears off. Suddenly they have bad breath in the morning. Suddenly they have wind problems.
That's not the problem.
That's not a problem. There you go. High values on wind. No, joking. Okay. Right? The novelty wears off. Because when you shift from the infatuation stage, so first of all, it's because we didn't take time to understand their values and what their values are, and they suddenly become this kind of more, oh God, I don't remember which one to press. I'm so used to going side to side, but this is up and down. I know the complexity of a PowerPoint. Then you get into the power struggle. So the infatuation wears off, and then it's all about how do you assert yourself as a partner. Yeah, and that's when we start to go, no, I like it this way, no, I like it this way, no, I like it this way. Right? Most people are in love with the first stage because that's what we look at, that's what we learn in fairy tales, don't we? We're like, hi, prince meets beautiful princess, bit of a struggle, he wins the princess and they live happily ever after. Yes? And that's what we grow up with. And there's no right or wrong, this is just for you to understand. But then when that happily ever after fades away, comes, this is who I am in the relationship. Well, this is who I am in the relationship. You start the power struggle. You start to really kind of, no, this is where I like things, no, this is where I like things. And it starts to become very conflicted. Because actually it can be avoided when you look at each other's values. Well, I like to watch Arsenal every Saturday because that's my downtime. But that's when I like to go for long walks along the beach. Conflict. From the word go, let me just tell you, I will give you most of what you want, but when us were on TV, it's my time. Is that fair? Yes. Great. Who just booed? Des, leave. Chelsea. Not even a competition. Okay. So let me just end on this because my time's running out. I've only got 10 minutes. So I want to talk about the mature love phase. And part of the mature love phase is really starting with this, but also continuously understanding that values change, they evolve. When I met Emily and you said his relationships are in any of your values, I would have said no. Let me build the business first. But because we connected, we did have the infatuation stage. Sometimes we had the struggle we go through. That's what relationships do. But we matured very quickly because we understood the values, we understood where it was heading. Have a vision for your relationship, have a purpose for your relationship. Whatever that is for you is completely acceptable. But let me tell you about this amazing man. This is Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones hurt his thumb. So this 8-year-old goes to the doctors, he sits down waiting to have his stitches removed. And the nurse approaches him and says, Mr. Jones, how lovely to see you. Oh, you're looking great, you always look so smart, you're always wearing a suit. Every time I see you look so smart. Let me just check that thumb. And she checks the thumb. Oh, look, the thumb's healed really nicely. What we need to do is take out those stitches. I've got a doctor in the room, so hopefully I'm doing the right thing here. Yes, she puts her hand down. And she says, but look, it's going to be an hour, Mr. Jones. It's going to be an hour. Is that okay? Mr. Jones says, well, Miss Nightingale, I'm going to go see my wife. I'm going to see my wife and I need to get to her for lunch. It's really important I see my wife. Okay, Mr. Jones, let me see what I can do. And she runs and she says, Dr. Joubert! Dr. Joubert! That's Dr. Joubert. He's and Dr. Joubert, yes? Look, Dr. Joubert, Mr. Jones really needs to go. Can I remove the stitches? Of course you can. I'm very busy anyway, so go do your thing. And Miss Nightingale walks up to Mr. Jones. She takes his pulse. I feel very examined right now. 4 fingers. Checks his pulse. Everything's good. She takes off the bandage. She prints her little tray, parks it, pops the stitches. 1, pop, 2, 3. She goes, look, it's gonna feel a little funny when I pull them out. 1, 2, 3. She takes the plaster, takes off the top. Oh. There we go, Mr. Jones. Tell me, Mr. Jones, why do you always dress up? Why do you always dress up, Mr. Jones? Well, Miss Nightingale, you see, I'm 80 years old and I've been with my wife my whole life and I have lunch with her every day and I buy her flowers every day. But Mr. Jones, isn't she in a home? Does she have Alzheimer's? Yes, she does. But here's the thing. She might not know who I am, but I know who she is. Can I go now? And the nurse is like, sure, Mr. Jones, please. That's the kind of love I'd like in my life. And Mr. Jones gets up, grabs his walking stick, and off he goes to see his wife. Because most of us are in love with the fantasy around love. Most of us refuse to accept what will be, what has been, but also what it won't be. And that's a key thing. And Mr. Jones accepts that it won't be the loving relationship that they had, but he understands and still loves what was and what it is right now. So that's Mr. Jones. Love that story. How many of you like that story? Yeah, Mr. Jones. A completely different picture now, Mr. Jones. So as I start to wrap up, what I hope you've taken away is really understanding your own values is going to play a massive part in the growth of your relationship. But understanding your current partner or your future partner values and how you can work together to support them. If someone challenges your values on a regular basis continuously, have the guts to walk away, because it will be miserable in the long term. once the infatuation stage wears off and you start that power struggle, it'll be destructive. And you all want good relationships, don't you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So really take the time. Now, if you're not sure how to know what your values are, there's two ways. In a moment, I'll give you the opportunity to have a copy of my ebook. The other way is look at your last 24 hours. Look at the last 24 hours, be very almost observant. Where, without effort, do you spend your time, your money, your energy, and fill your space with? Without effort. So yes, a lot of us get up and work, but that's what we need to do, okay. But effortlessly, you get that phone call, you see it's happening, you clearly have a value of learning or growth or relationship, that's why you're here, yes or no?
Yeah.
No effort. I mean, to get to Heathrow's a bit, right? However, it wasn't a second thought. Relationship, cool, I'm there, yes? Because somewhere in your value, either relationship, growth, learning, speaking, whatever it is for you, that's in your values. Look at the 24 hours. What is effortless in your decision making? Because that is where your growth, but that is where your highest values lie. And I use highest values not in a one's better than the other way. It's not because, business is my top Sunday means that that's not good enough. It's just understanding what drives your core behavior in a relationship and out of a relationship. It's understanding what stages you're in and how the values influence them. That's what I would like you to take away from this. So before I leave the stage, and unfortunately I can't hang around because I've got to leave here and drive to London to do some hypnotherapy training. So I will be around a little bit at the back where Emily is and Alex is. And then I'm going to shoot off, but that's because I need to go, not because of you guys. I just wanted to know that. And Caroline, I would love to see you speak.
Yeah,
she's like, you're leaving because it's me.
sure.
And, all personal, what can I say? But, it was pre-arranged. And when Des asked me to speak, I said, yes, I can do it, but I need to leave early. And he's like, cool, I'll put you on first. Have you got value, yes or no?
Yes.
Have you learned one or two things, yes or no?
Yes.
How many of you like presents? Raise your hands. Are you sure? Because if you don't, I don't have to give them to you. Do you like presents? Excellent. So I'd like to give you 3 gifts. How many?
3.
What was that? Huh?
5.
You want 5? Okay, cool. So here's what I'd like to give you. As a gift, I'd like to give you, it's chopped off, but an e-copy of It's Your Right to Be Wrong. You see purposely placed there, the wrong is off the page. You like what I did there? Purposely. So I'll give you an e-copy of It's Your Right to Be Wrong, where I talk a lot more about the values that I discussed. And the second one I'd like to give is It's Your Right to Be Wrong in Relationships, where we talk a lot more about the 3 stages of infatuation, co-authored with Marina Pearson, who's at the back there. And I'd like to invite you to Power to Succeed as a complimentary. It's a free ticket, it's complimentary. And Power to Succeed is our 2-day signature program. And what we do there is we look at judgment. We play a very interesting game around values. We look at your environment. Is it conducive to your growth, to the journey you want to be on? In many, many ways. Where are the people that have been? Raise your hands. Can I ask them what they got from it? And that's what I like to do. So I like to give you all those gifts. So all you need to do, you need to get up and go to Emily and Alex, put your name down, and we will send them to you. But wait, there's more. I have 7 hard copies with me. So the first 7 get them, right? 7 hard copies with me. The first 7 get them, and the rest of you will have to just put your name down and we'll email them to you. So I hope you have an amazing day. You've got incredible speakers. So I'd like to say thank you very much, and I will see you soon, whenever that may be.